Canine ehrlichiosis is a life-threatening disease that is having a devastating impact on dogs in many remote Indigenous communities across Australia. To tell us more, I caught up with Dr. Bonny Cumming from AMRRIC, a Darwin-based charity that is helping these communities in need.
Bonny, given ehrlichiosis has only been identified in Australia for 3 years, how is it impacting on dogs here in Australia?
Look, Lara, it's been really significant. So particularly in the top end and in Central Australia, where access to veterinary services is really limited, the dog populations have been really hammered by ehrlichiosis. We've seen mortalities of up to 3 in 10 dogs. So really, really significant. It's also, for those that recover, it's potentially got the long-term impacts where they can end up with chronic disease.
And how is AMRRIC helping to address this?
Yeah, so we work in remote Indigenous communities nationally. So one of the things that we've really been focusing on is raising awareness. So developing lots of educational resources, often in language as well. In addition to that, we've been training local community members and animal management workers in recognising the disease, but also giving out preventative treatments. And then, of course, our veterinary services are really important in making sure those communities have access to treatment as well.
And for the everyday pet owner, I guess, you know, those living in cities and other urban areas, is it a threat to them as well?
No, so this is a disease that's carried by the brown dog tick. So where we find this disease is only in places where the brown dog tick exists, which for most of Australia is the top end and central parts. People in southern Australia, it's not such a big risk, but if you're travelling with your dog, then you definitely need to be aware of it.
That's right. And how should we be protecting our dogs? Because it's not just as simple, is it, as what we might normally think?
No, so this disease can transmit from the tick to the dog really quickly. So unfortunately, that means we often need multi-pronged approach. It's really important to have your dogs on products that repel the ticks and stop them from biting in the first place. So that's things like collars or spot-ons.
Okay.
But then in places where these ticks are really common, things like your chewables, like your NexGard, is a really great option because that's going to help to limit the tick population overall and reduce the risk.
Okay, so hitting them from every angle.
Both sides, yeah.
Now, it's really important that you get support because you do rely on the community and corporates to support your work as a charity. So how can people watching help the work that you're doing?
Yeah, so we've got to cover really big distances over so much of Australia. We need to supply thousands and thousands of antiparasitic products and veterinary services, so we really appreciate any sort of support that people and corporates can give us. So they can do that by going to our website, amrric.org, and pressing donate, and we would be very, very grateful.
Choose NexGard Spectra Monthly Chews for peace of mind that your dog is protected against fleas, ticks, mites, heartworm and intestinal worms all year round.